Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a review on the Zero Yeti 500X lithium power station. Let's get right into it. First off, I have to say I just love this thing. It's quality built. It feels solid. The components, everything in it just looks high quality. The thing just screams high quality. You have a nice retractable lift up handle. You can put it down, get it out of your way. You can put things on top. It's just easier to stack, easier to pack if you're going, packing your car up. Now, I use this thing for camping, for my rooftop tent, but these things have lots and lots of uses. You have a 505 watt hour lithium battery. You have a 300 watt pure sine inverter, 120 volt. Then you have regulated outputs for your 12 volt cigarette lighter. You have an 8mm plug for solar panels, and your wall outlet and car charger would park into the 8mm port. And what's nice, they also give you an 8mm port on the back, so you have two different spots to charge it from. Then you have your 6mm. You have your USB ports. You have two normal, 2.4s. Then you have a 60 watt input, and then your 18 watt quick charge QC. Right. You know what I'm talking about. Each individual section powers off and on. So when you're done with them, you can shut each area off. Just to give you a quick sample, I have these just regular party lights that I use around the tent at night when I'm camping. You can plug them in. You see they come on, and it'll tell you the watts that it's drawing, and on this side it'll tell you how many hours are left. You also have your state of charge of your battery. Now, what I do recommend with any 12 volt power station, if your appliance or whatever you're putting in is 12 volt, use the 12 volt cigarette port. Reason being is it uses less voltage and wattage. Your batteries will last almost twice the amount of time. So to give you an example, if I have a Iceco Go 20 refrigerator freezer, if I plug it into the 12 volt port, that thing would last me a couple days without ever recharging this thing. So the whole time on the weekend I'm out camping, I put it in here, refrigerator's good. Now if I was to plug it into the inverter, it probably halves that time. The inverter uses, I believe it's like 7 watts of power to convert it back to 12 volt. So if you can, always use the 12 volt side. If you can't, well then of course you got to use the 120 side. Best uses for these things: camping, tailgating. I use this at a football game. Pull up, you're doing some partying before the game, you can plug your radio in. You can power your refrigerator if you bring your refrigerator down with you. A small TV. Camping, like I said, I use mine for the refrigerator, some lighting. What's nice about this, it's 300 watt continuous, although it doesn't sound like it's a lot, but it's got a 1200 watt surge protection. So say you want to run your blender or something that takes 30 seconds, you can use this. If it's 500, 600, 800 watts, it will power it for enough time to do what you need to do before it shuts off. So Don't let the 300 watts fool you. The reason why I didn't go with one of the other ones that have a continuous 500 watt, they had less surge watts. And if you think about it, what are you plugging in that's 500 watts that you would need to run continuous? Oh, everything I have is under 300 watts. And believe me, if you start plugging something in that's 400 watts or 500 watts and you're trying to run this thing, you're going to get less than an hour out of it. So there's no sense of even messing with it. Charge times. If you plug in the wall adapter, you get, it's about 8 hours to take to a full charge from zero. Solar panel, 6 to 8 to 12 hours depending on the solar. That's 100 watt solar power depending on the sun. I have a Rock Pals 100 watt that it averages 70 watts, 65, 70 watts. If I plug that in, I can have indefinite power for the entire weekend because nothing I have draws more than that. And that's what makes this thing nice. You can use it while you're charging, which makes it really nice. So, and then you also have the car charger, which will charge it in high speed. I believe it's 4.5 hours. Overall, this thing weighs 12.5 pounds about. I think it's like 11 inches by 5 inches by 6-7 inches deep. I mean, you see my hand as a guide. This thing is really small, and it's lighter than most of them. You have fan on the sides, which I never even hear run. I don't even know if they make any noise, to be honest with you. But I really do love this thing. Did I already tell you I like this thing? I love this thing. I'm going to say it again. I love this thing. They do make smaller ones. They make larger ones. Now, I wouldn't recommend this if you're trying to power your RV or your house. They make 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 watts for that. People, you see people complaining about these things. Well, I tried to run my washer and dryer at home or some giant side-by-side refrigerator. It doesn't work. That's not what these are made for. These are not generators. They're just power stations. They store power for you to use. Camping, like I said, tailgating. Contractors can use them to keep their tool batteries charged. Football games. You're going to your kid's game. You want to keep some stuff in the vehicle cold. Portable refrigerator. I mean, it's endless of what you can do with these things. Preppers. Now, if you do have a power outage, you just need to run some lights. It's fine. Especially with LED lights these days. I mean, you can get a LED bulb equivalent to 60 watts that's, runs on 2-3 watts. It'll run it for days. Also, if you use a CPAP machine, this will run the CPAP all night, which is good for camping or for an emergency at home. If your power goes out in the middle of the night or anything and you don't have a generator, you can just plug in your CPAP to the Goal Zero and run it all night. This does have MPPT charging, which really just about cuts your charge times in half when you're using the solar or the quick chargers. Also for charging like cell phones, I think it charges a cell phone like 100 gazillion times, 80 times. Your laptops, drone batteries, camera batteries. And I mean, overall, it's just something handy to have while you're out camping. Even if you're a photographer and you're not camping, you keep this in your car or your van, and you can use it to keep everything charged if you're doing a big job someplace. I mean, the uses are endless. Wherever you can use power, you can use it. I mean, hell, I've even had it on my tractor doing some work at night, and I put up a couple spotlights just to see what I was doing at night. I plugged them in because I need a light for about a half hour, and I used it. I mean, it works out perfect. So that's about it. If you have any questions, Drop them down below in the comment section. Hit the subscribe if you like the video. Hit the like button. I have some reviews coming up on my Iceco Go 20 refrigerator, 12 volt refrigerator freezer, and the Rock Pals 100 watt solar panel. I also have a TJM Ular rooftop tent that I will be dropping a video on shortly. Great little tent, and you'll probably be able to see everything that I'm showing in action all at once. The solar panel, this thing, the refrigerator, some lights, and thanks for watching.